had agreed to keep off politics at the funeral.
Ukweli ni kwamba Rigathi Gachagua hajasaidia huyu mama, na hiyo ndio ukweli. Rigathi Gachagua hajasaidia huyu Chalini, na kama amesaidia akuja aseme hapa amemsaidia na nini. Rigathi Gachagua ametulia huyu mama na hajamsaidia na kitu, na sisi kama watu wa Madera hatuungi Rigathi Gachagua mkono.
Niseme ya kwamba wakati tulikuja hapa tulikuwa tumekubaliana zote, tukaambiwa na mpaka viongozi wa kanisa kasisi kwamba hakuna kuongea siasa, na kila mtu akapewa nafasi ya kuongea. Sisi tuliongea, tukapeana rambirambi zetu, tukakaa. Lakini sasa umbaya ni kwamba wakati Mheshimiwa Mumbi alipata nafasi ya kuongea, yeye akachukua hiyo nafasi kuanza kutusi watu. Ndio aliambiwa sasa na umma na wakazi wa Kirinyaga kwanza akaambiwa keti chini, kwa sababu hapa Kirinyaga tunakuanga na maadili. Hakuna kuja hapa kunja kutukana viongozi na kuleta siasa ambazo hazina msingi. Lakini unajua siku yake ya mwisho, bahati yake imeisha leo. Na unajua bahati yako ikikuishia, hata kunyesha mvua ya supu utakosa kijiko.
Niseme ya kwamba ni makosa sana viongozi wanapoenda kujumuika labda kwenye mazishi ama hafla tofauti kukua wanakosea heshima viongozi wengine. Sisi tulizungumziwa na Father Paul na akasema ya kwamba hapa Kirinyaga County mazishi ambayo tumekuwa kumpumzisha Anne Wanjiru, hakuna siasa ambazo tunafaa tufanye. Viongozi wote ambao wamechaguliwa Kirinyaga County wakamaliza kuzungumza na hakuna siasa ambayo wamezungumzia ama kutusi mtu yeyote. Lakini yule mbunge wa Mathira Eric Wamombi aliposimama akaanza kutusi Rigathi Gachagua, na wakazi wa Kirinyaga County wakawaambia ya kwamba lazima akome, manake hapa Kirinyaga County hapa huwezi kuja kukosea viongozi heshima ama watu wa Kirinyaga County heshima. Tumeona pia alikuwa amekuja na basi 10, sitting capacity ya watu 50. Kwa hivyo alikuwa amekuja na watu 50 kwenye mazishi. Niulize viongozi 500 kwenye mazishi. Niulize viongozi, jamani, itakuwaje ya kwamba sasa hata kwenye mazishi tunakuja na msululu wa watu ili tuweze kupigiwa makofi?
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has announced a 90-day suspension for East African Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament Falhada Iman following her involvement in a physical altercation with nominated MP Umulkhair Harun. The altercation, which took place on Parliament grounds on Tuesday, was captured on video and widely circulated across social media, drawing public attention and controversy. Addressing the House on Wednesday afternoon, the Speaker, Moses Wetangula, condemned the incident, stating that Iman's actions were unacceptable and undermined the integrity of Parliament. The suspension takes effect immediately, and Iman will be prohibited from accessing Parliament buildings or its facilities during the 90-day period.
Members, having reviewed the video and incident report, it's clear that the violent altercation between the Honorable Umulkhair MP and Honorable Falhada casts Parliament in bad light and is likely to reflect adversely on the dignity or integrity of Parliament and indeed the sanctity of the precincts of Parliament. Ordinarily, order, Karemba. Order. Ordinarily, honorable members, such a matter would merit referral to the Committee of Powers and Privileges for consideration and recommendation of appropriate action. Indeed, several members keen on guarding the dignity of Parliament and its precincts have already approached me, requesting that I invoke the provisions of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, Cap 6, and cause the incident to be considered by the Committee of Powers and Privileges. However, honorable members, given that the incident involved a sitting member and a former member, I'm inclined to first accord the nominated member, Honorable Umulkhair, the opportunity to explain herself and whatever explanation she gives, also to apologize to the House for the unbecoming conduct. With respect to Honorable Falhada, the Yala Member of Parliament, I note that she does not have a platform to address the House on the floor of this House. In this regard, I direct that the member explains herself to the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Chairperson of the Parliamentary Service Commission in writing by 5 p.m. on Monday, 14th April 2025. In the meantime, Honorable Falhada is forthwith precluded from accessing the precincts of Parliament, Parliament buildings and facilities for a period of 90 days.
The Kenya Defence Forces on Wednesday successfully demolished an 11-story building in Mombasa, bringing to an end fears of impending disaster after the building's structural integrity was compromised by the drilling of a borehole. The building located off Abdel Nasser Road was demolished by explosives at exactly 12:56 p.m. under KDF's supervision. No casualties were reported and nearby buildings remained untouched as the tall structure crumbled into a heap of rubble. After the dust settled and the area declared safe, the officers assembled atop the debris and broke into songs in an expression of joy at a job well done.
We have seen that the damage is the windows in the nearby houses. For those who listen to advice or waache madirisha yao wazi, we are also seeing that hakuna damage iliyotokea. Nyumba hizi zote hazina shida yoyote. We've not heard of any fatalities. We were concerned about mambo ya debris na mambo ya ile impact kuweza kuumiza watu. The building is down as planned. We had 17 ambulances, we had hospitals ready. For now, tupeni nafasi tu ya muda takriban saa moja, ikizidi sana masaa mawili, everyone will go back to their houses. The team in charge is already making preparations. Wakipatiwa go ahead, hii area kutakuwa na excavator leo kuanza kuondoa huu mzigo wote, na nia na madhumuni ni kwa hatutaki kupaacha hivi. Immediately we start rebuilding our city. Kama kuna damage ya maji hapa chini, damage yoyote ambayo kama imefanyika, we go ahead and do what needs to be done. And we are also going to have an exit report from the National Disaster Committee, and the exit report will be very, very clear.
The government is tonight asking you to be extremely vigilant of your surrounding and keep it clean always as it swings into action to deal with a cholera outbreak that has now claimed over 5 lives countrywide. Consequently, community health promoters will distribute water cleaning tablets to areas that are greatly affected, noting a departure from basic hygiene practices that has contributed to an upsurge of the disease. Speaking in Kirinyaga, Public Health and Professional Standards PS Mary Mudhoni said simple practices such as boiling drinking water and frequent hand washing have been abandoned, hence the threat that is also in Nairobi and has claimed a life.
I'm also asking the public to practice high levels of hygiene, frequent hand washing, use soap and water. Ensure that you're drinking treated water or boiled water. Ensure that you separate raw and cooked food at any given time. Ensure that the storage of your food is at the highest level of hygiene. Ensure that you equally are separating waste disposal. There must be proper waste disposal to avoid contamination of the spaces, surfaces, and also food items. There equally must be proper sanitation. In this country, we still have 15 counties that practice open defecation. It is the high time we insisted that every household has a toilet or a latrine. We have cholera outbreak in a number of counties, including Migori, Kisumu, and Nairobi counties. As at today, we have 97 cholera cases, and we have also seen deaths of the same, whereby in Migori we have 1 person who has died out of that. Kisumu, we have 4 people who have died, and in Nairobi we also have another person who has died, and we also have people who are on observation.
Interior and Government Coordination Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has warned government officers against aiding land grabbing in Kilifi County. Speaking at the Kilifi County Commissioner's office on his tour of the county, Murkomen stated that lands officers, national government administration officers, judicial officers and police officers had been cited as enablers of land grabbing by siding with wealthy individuals to deprive residents of their land. He also said that the government was keen on completing the Shakahola massacre probe by setting aside a budget to complete the process so that families of victims can heal.
The top concern for us here in Kilifi is land issues, because it is either the issues of invasion by squatters, the issues that are related to a squatter settlement, issues of land evictions, issue of titling, and sometimes we feel very sad that even a very important noble act of giving people their title deeds becomes a source of insecurity, especially for the elders who feel that their children and their relatives would attack them to get the title deed to sell land. And so we need to create this kind of awareness, and we need to tighten the controls when it comes to land issues, because transfer of land is a legal process that requires a lot of consent along the way. But because there's a collusion, because the buyers and the sellers, we have a problem here. We have a double selling of land here. We have issues that are related to land issues. Here, insecurity is perpetuated by issues concerning land. We also want to ask, we will be, after here, I will be seeking for consultation with the Chief Justice, because part of the problems here is sometimes our judicial officers compound the problem when it comes to land issues by either issuing conflicting court orders or sometimes issuing, for example, an order on adverse possession. In law, when you give an order on adverse possession, you are trying to say a person was living in a particular place for a long period of time, and in this case for over 10 years. But you find one person is issued with adverse possession for 5 parcels. That is unheard of. It is an outright act of corruption. And I'm happy in the past some judicial officers have been disciplined by causing this confusion.
President William Ruto has said Kenya is streamlining business processes to foster a more efficient and investor-friendly environment for enterprises to thrive. The president said the government is addressing the concerns of entrepreneurs through the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to enhance the ease of doing business in the country. Speaking during the opening of the World Chambers Federation Africa Summit 2025 in Nairobi on Wednesday, President Ruto pointed out that a conducive environment for investment remains the government's commitment. The head of state said chambers of commerce serve as vital bridges between policymakers and enterprises.
And as you're all aware, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area brings into being the largest single market of 1.4 billion people in 55 countries, with a GDP of close to 3.4 trillion. And the good news is that the building blocks towards the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, whether you're talking about the East African Community or the tripartite free trade area that brings together EAC, COMESA, and SADC, that actually came into force last year in June, creating the building blocks to have a strong, integrated, single market around our continent, which presents opportunity for business, for investment, and for trade.
Represent over 80% of African businesses and employ the majority of the workforce. They are active across all sectors, including agriculture, manufacturing, services, and innovation. If AFCFTA is to succeed, it must be built with MSMEs and its core.
Grassroots leaders from the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM in Kakamega, have strongly condemned the recent attack on Esau Omungala, a presiding officer following the party's ward-level elections held on Tuesday. Omungala was kidnapped, taken to an unknown location, and later found injured by DCI officers late in the night. The leaders, led by Vincent Mumia and David Owino, expressed their outrage over the incident, insisting that the party has always conducted its activities peacefully and has never experienced any chaos. They have called for an immediate end to such barbaric acts and urged for peaceful elections at the sub-county level.
Kila ambayo ilifanyika jana haiko kwa kitu mzuri, kwa sababu kama returning officer anaweza kuwa hijacked na kupigwa na kuumizwa, sio kitu mzuri. Ni binadamu kama sisi. Kukua returning officer imenisha kwamba ni mnyama ingine. Returning officer ni binadamu kama sisi. Lakini nashukuru officers wetu wa polisi walifanya kazi mzuri na kusaidia ukijana, lakini alipatikana kama ameumizwa zaidi. Lakini naweza sema waziri kuendelea kufanya uchunguzi wao, na wale ambao walihusika kwa hiyo kitendo wachukuliwe hatua kali kabisa.
Presiding officer huko kusign form kwa lazima zenye haziko halali, kitu kama hicho ninakashifu na kesho isijaribu kuonekana. Naomba tuwe na amani, tuchaguane kwa njia ya amani, tuunganishe ODM ikiwa pamoja.
Alihaijakiwa na mikora na watu ambao sijui walitoka wapi, wakamkidnap, wakampiga, wakamlazimisha yeye asign zile forms walikuwa wamekuja nazo, na vile alikataa akasema mimi zile forms kulingana na utaratibu wa kazi nimefanya kazi yangu na nimetumanisha. Walimharas, wakampiga, wakamtoa manguo, wakamweka kwa buti ya gari na wakatoroka.
Sisi watu wa ODM ni watu wa roho moja. Tunafanyia kazi yetu pamoja. Correct. Tunapendana kutoka chini paka juu. Yes. Hata vile baba ameshikana na baba wetu Ruto, tumefurahi. Tunakaribisha wamemba wote waingie kwa ODM.
Kioni ilifanyika, nilisikia watu wengine machangili walikidnap presiding officer. Ndio niliona kama ilikuwa kitendo kipaya sana ambayo ifanyiki Lurambi. Hiyo ibidi inafanyika mbalimbali na kia tu kwa radio, lakini Lurambi ni nchi ya amani, area ya amani, constituency ya amani, inajakuwa viongozi kwa peaceful. So that naomba tuendelee kuwa na amani vile na kuanga samani.
Quite sad indeed, if you look at the situation just surrounding that presiding officer and the circumstances. Hopefully the DCI detectives can get to the bottom of the issue. Well, at that point, allow us to take a quick breather right here on EBN TV. We'll be back shortly with more news making headlines. Stay with us. Blankets and detergents to new mothers at Siakago Level 4 Hospital. This development comes just days after the bus party, led by former Embu Senator Lenny Kivuti, expressed interest in fielding a candidate for the upcoming by-elections.
We spent a lot of time praying, particularly for the bus party, because, as you all know, there is the imminent position of Member of Parliament from Bere North upcoming. We don't know when it will come, but we are sure it is upcoming sometime. And we as the bus, and I'm talking as the bus national chairman, we feel we should participate in those elections and we should offer one of us. However, we would like to consult with all like-minded parties so that we don't divide our people, so that we can end up not only winning the position comfortably, but keeping the people of Bere North together to end.
Niko in Chicago, Level 4 Hospital. Nimekuja hapa kwa sababu one of my supporters alinitumia message akiwa na marafiki zake wako hospitalini lakini hawana blanketi na jik, wanateseka. So akaniomba kama naweza kuja kuwa support, na mimi nikapata hiyo report, na ndio maana nimekuja kuwapatia blanketi na jik ndio walale vizuri kwa hospitali. And I believe that leo watalala vizuri, hawatasikia baridi, na jik zitawasaidia kufua manguo zao. Pia nimekuja hapa kwa hospitali na nikaona we need a lot of improvements. And remember, sijaingia kwa serikali bado. So I'm just trying to support where I can.
Women in Kisumu County are decrying poor health services, especially in level 1 hospitals in the county, leading to many infant and maternal deaths. While speaking in Kisumu, they have pointed out that many facilities are in a sorry state, characterized by lack of medicine, health workers, and use of derogatory terms by health workers attending to them while seeking maternity services. On the other hand, health sector stakeholders led by Dorothy Okemo, while acknowledging the existence of such challenges, have emphasized on the importance of Kenyans to get a health cover such as the Social Health Authority to ensure they get better health care.
Yes, ndio ni ukweli wananchi leo wamesema wana shida nyingi sana, particularly ukiangalia mambo ya maternal and newborn health. Sana sana wamama ambao wanapoteza maisha yao wakijifungua. For us, what it means is that we have to really strengthen our health system. We have to make sure that the healthcare system, kuanzia the lowest level mpaka the highest level, wame streamline na wame strengthen your referral pathway so that hatupotezi mama, hatupotezi mtoto ambaye maisha yake ingeweza kuokolewa kama tungekuwa na system ambayo inafanya kazi vizuri.
So we'd want this to be a healthy pregnancy. Walk with us, talk with us, so that we are able to mitigate early enough the conditions that are leading to our maternal mortalities.
My main concern, or the main area that I've had a big problem, is when it comes to mother and child mortality, where this newborn is dead. The mother is ailing, the mother is sick, the mother is paining. But then what does the health facility or what does the health sector do in regards to following up about this woman that has lost a baby? Or is it just about God for us all and man for himself? You've lost the baby, you can go home. We want to see a healthcare system that is following up to go through the process to the end until the case is buried.
The Brookside Kenya Secondary Schools Sports Association National Term 1 Games officially kicked off at the Shanzu Teachers Training College, bringing together over 3,000 athletes in a vibrant celebration of youth talent and sportsmanship. The opening ceremony marked the beginning of a 6-day sporting extravaganza that features participants from secondary schools, junior and primary levels, as well as special needs institutions across the country. Students will compete in various disciplines, including athletics, swimming, hockey, handball, basketball, and adapted sports for learners with special needs. The Director, Field Coordination of Co-Curriculum Activities in the State Department for Basic Education, Nelson Sifuna, said the games aim to bring together various levels of school sports in one city to foster synergy in resource mobilization and promote structured pathways for talent identification and development.
Within these school grounds, that we nurture the future stars of our national teams, athletes and players who will go on to represent Kenya on the global stage. We therefore welcome all forms of support, be it in the form of infrastructure, equipment, playing kits, or financial sponsorship. Every contribution goes a long way in empowering the next generation of champions.
From primary special needs and 800 secondary education special needs. This brings the total number of athletes who are in Mombasa today to about 3,500, excluding sports officials like referees, chaperones, team managers, among others. They will be competing in several games, including athletics, swimming, hockey, handball, basketball, and various special needs games.
We pumped in a total sponsorship sum of 30 million shillings to support these games. Now, we are looking at continuity and sustainability as key facets of these games. Hatutaki hii talanta ambayo tutauona wiki hii mzima kutoka kwa wanafunzi wetu ididimia tu hapa kwenye Term 1 game. So we are working with all stakeholders, including the Ministry of Education, to see to it that there's continuity and we are able to sustain the talent of this youth.
All right, and may the best teams and the best codes win at the national games in Shanzu. Thank you for watching. That marks the end of our broadcast tonight. Our sign language interpreter is Laura Omondi. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. We wish you a fantastic night. Stay warm.